Tonight, Mad Circus Comedy makes its debut. Make sure you follow the link in the description to subscribe. If you are a writer, an actor, a creator, or would like to join the team, follow the links and contact us. We'd love to have you on board. Day 21 of the hostage situation. More court filings, more dead ends for President Trump as President-elect Biden pushes forward with getting ready to take the helm of our nation. How much longer is this going to last? Double wins in fantasy football. Michigan squeaks out a win over Rutgers. And the Lions scored just as many points as they would have if they had a bye week. Creators, artists, musicians, and business owners, come on the show. Let's collaborate. Let's get your brand out there. Contact me at mikeallensports@gmail.com to get booked. Mad Mike is in his corner. Sky Marshal Leland Freeman is here. The OTA Sports Commissioner Chuck Licata in the house. The player to be named later, Alexander Lee, is at the helm. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Radio Man Cave, and you are now on the air. The views and opinions on the Air with Mike Allen show do not reflect the views and opinions of other shows associated with Fort Kick-Ass Productions. This show is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, baby, I got anything in my teeth?
Check there to the left.
Right there. Where? Right
no.
there? I get it?
No, here, just... Here, you're not getting... Use my mirror.
Rude.
So here's the thing, is that if you want me to play 3 videos back to back, I'm going to have to go to this desktop thing here.
Okay.
And then pick one.
Okay, that's fine.
And then here, play.
That's fine. That's okay.
All right.
That's fine.
Well, I haven't found one because I wasn't going to open up a bunch of pages. So we'll have to figure out a better way to do this.
They're all right there. All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Mike Allen here. Oh, my God. Well,
See how inconvenient that is? See how inconvenient that is?
Ladies. On today's episode, we will learn how to wear...
Yeah, just mute it.
Oh, okay.
Good evening. I'm Mike Allen. Welcome to the show. As we stumble out the gate. Stumbling out the gate is what we're really good at here in the United States of America as we enter day 21 of the current hostage situation. We don't know when Donald Trump is going to actually face reality and go ahead and turn the reins over to the president-elect Joe Biden. But I don't know about y'all, but I think it's about time. I'm done with it, to be honest with you. This reminds me a lot of 2000 with Gore Bush. When Gore kept fighting, kept counting, of course, the same storylines were being played of voter fraud, voter suppression, where people weren't allowed to vote, all of which has been erased this last election with early voting, mail-in voting. I mean, if you didn't get to vote this election, you just didn't try. It was very easy to do so. It took me all of 10 minutes in one day, and I early voted. So, but right now, Trump is going to the courts, and 100% of the time that he's went to the courts with his complaints, they've produced zero evidence, none, and the courts have been kicking him out. So I don't know how much longer this is going to be. I know December 5th That's when the official electorates will be cast for the presidential candidates. And now there's even talk that Trump is trying to get Republican electorates from certain states to basically ignore the democratic process and cast their votes for Trump. I think that would be a huge mistake. Not only would it be a huge mistake for the congressmen and senators that went along with that nonsense, but it would be a huge mistake for our constitutional republic and the relationship that we have between ourselves as sovereign citizens and our government. I mean, if it was really, really, really close like it was in 2000, it was just really one state that was up for debate, and it was just too close to call. And that one state hung the whole thing in the balance. But Trump lost by about 6 states. That means he's going to have to prove in 6 states, only 6 states out of the 50 states plus the District of Columbia, that any fraud was being taken place to turn those states over. And, of course, why not another state? Why not California? Why not Oregon? Why not Texas? Only those states that came right down to the wire, Nevada being one of them, Georgia, who just certified all their votes for Biden. It's not close. And I think it's hurting the president's legacy, whatever legacy he had. I think the longer this goes, the more he fights it, the more people get pissed off at him. And it's actually going to hurt him once he does finally step down and get out of the way, because no one's going to like him. I just think now, though, he's putting on a show for his followers. I think his ego's involved. I think, and there's going to be a point where enough is going to be enough, and hopefully it comes soon, so we can go ahead with the transition, get Joe Biden in as president. Of course, already I'm hearing things from the right about how Joe Biden's going to take all our guns. First day in office, going to take all our guns. Well, I heard that too back in 2006.
You're going to give up your guns?
I'm not going to give up anything.
No, I know.
No one is, because it's not going to happen. It's just, it didn't happen under Obama. They had an assault weapons ban that started under Clinton, which basically ended up not having any teeth in it. If you go back and look at it, everybody could still keep their guns. No one had to get rid of any assault weapons. The only state that actually came close to what people are afraid of, and I think this is what's kind of driving the fear, is the state of New York, where people actually had to get rid of their guns, which of course made New York not safer at all, because it's still murder capital of the country, them in Chicago. So, but I think we're tired. We're tired of waking up every day and turning on our news feed and hearing more and more rhetoric from the president talking about massive voter fraud, of which no evidence has been presented in court where it matters, not in the court of public opinion, in actual court. He has not been able to produce, him and his crack team have not been able to produce any evidence credible enough to convince a judge to move forward with a trial. And that's big. So, joining me in studio is Air Marshal Leland Freeman, who is in his 3rd week of not wearing his hat. And I'm kind of disappointed about that, Leland, to be honest with you. I thought you'd be right there till the end, man.
I am right there to the end.
Well, where's your hat?
Just because I didn't.
We're not going to burn.
You are hatless.
We're not going to burn your hat. You know that, right?
Hattyless boy.
We're not going to snatch your hat and burn it.
But Trump
like Mike
actually
is
had a couple of legal victories today. The Michigan state legislators agreed to hold hearings on election regularities in the state, and a federal appeals court has agreed to expedite the election review in Pennsylvania. And he only needs 3 states.
Okay, so
and he's actually going after election irregularities in other states such as New York.
But do the irregularities translate to him having more votes than Biden?
A lot more. A lot more. So the irregularities...
Okay, so the irregularities are what now?
in Pennsylvania, which is the one that everyone is focusing on, they violated the state law that says you can't bring in mail-in ballots after a specific date and time, which was, I believe, 7 p.m. election day. And what happened was that they did that. They intentionally separated the ballots from the envelopes. The envelopes are the things that have the date stamp on it and the signature, so you can't verify what is what.
So these were mail-in ballots that were cast, but the delivery system didn't get them to the polling station in time, so they can't be counted.
That's correct, because that's state law, and they violated state law. We're talking about tens of we're talking about hundreds of,
so if I vote,
we're talking about hundreds of thousands.
So if I vote on September 28th, and I stick my mail-in ballot in the mail, and it doesn't reach the polling station till after November 2nd, my vote doesn't count.
Yes, that's correct. But why would the post office take a month and a half for it to show up?
Because actually, it's like a week.
He said September 28th, and
okay, I just threw some freaking dates out. 28th to November 2nd is not a month.
First of all, I don't even think
September. You said September 28th to November 2nd. That's over a month.
October 28th.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah,
I knew what you meant, man.
You were with me, right?
Yeah. You couldn't even vote till like October 13th or something like that.
Point is, if you're going out to grocery shop, if you're going out to protest, you can go vote in person, which is what you did, what I did.
Okay, but that's a different argument. We're talking about a mail-in ballot that was legally cast by a citizen of the country, and just because it didn't make it to the polling station by November 2nd, it can't be counted.
That's correct. That's what the law is, and they're ignoring their own laws.
And now, is that only ballots that way that are for Biden or for Trump too?
I think all the ballots should be.
So all ballots.
Wait. Let's hear what Davis says. What'd you say, Davis?
Yeah, no, I think all mail-in ballots should just be like tossed in the ocean.
Yeah.
So the turtles can choke on them. Because
he's still in REM. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, this whole mail-in ballots debacle is super stupid.
We just woke him up from a long day of hauling
his
stuff.
2.7 liter brain.
I
Three
personally
cylinders are firing. One of them has a knock.
Yeah.
You know what? I personally feel I think we've gotten past the era of. I think we've gotten past the era of the secret ballot. If everyone's ballot had their identification on it, not in an envelope where it could be separated, but actual identification, since we're all open about who we voted for. Everyone except me voted for Jorgensen in this room, and I voted for Trump.
But Leland, if the ballot was dropped in the mail prior to November 2nd, why wouldn't it count?
Because it didn't arrive on time. Why would the post office take, like you said, October 28th? That should be.
So
the
two of which days were a Saturday and Sunday.
So if I put my ballot in the mailbox, you think there was something going on with the post office to prevent those ballots getting to the polling station?
I think that's part of it, but I think also what they're using.
Part of it. Hold on, follow my train of thought. You know where I'm going with this, don't you, Alex?
I do.
So if the mail-in ballots, which you claim are mostly for Biden, got put in the mail prior to November 2nd, but something was hinky in the mail system to prevent them from getting to the ballots on November 2nd, why would Biden do that to himself? That sounds more like Trump doing shenanigans with the voters.
Personally, my take is they're using this flawed system as an excuse to stuff it full of fraudulent ballots. Honestly, here's the thing: if the post office is capable of delivering things the next day, express mail, why can't they do it for? This is what it should be considered expedited material. First of all,
but if it's dropped in the mail and metered prior to November 2nd, even if it comes in on November 9th when the mail finally gets there, it should count.
Why is it?
I don't know. I don't work for the post office. I mean, this was a lot of ballots that were coming in. It's Christmas.
An unprecedented amount.
Yeah, it's an unprecedented amount because your president told everybody to mail in, to don't go vote with mail-in ballots, and the other guy was telling everybody to use them. And they had the whole COVID scare and all that crap.
That didn't stop them from rioting.
That's a different argument.
Man.
You're
Come
moving
on,
the
man.
goalposts.
That's a different
on.
argument. Who cares?
What I'm getting at, what I'm getting,
What I'm getting at is it doesn't matter. It stopped them from rioting. It did have them mail in their ballot.
but they're using this as an excuse to say, oh, we have all these ballots that are arriving late, and they separate them from the envelope, and they separate them from the date.
But
and
even
so
the ballot should have
no,
an
they don't.
individual
They
voter
don't.
ID.
They don't.
Why wouldn't they have it?
Because it's on the envelope. That's the whole argument. Is once it's separated
So
from
you're
the envelope.
telling me that on the mail-in ballot, it doesn't have a name, a voter ID, has no identification on it whatsoever?
That's the argument that's being presented to the courts. That all that stuff is on the envelope.
How would you? How?
I'm gonna
no,
look that
no,
up right now.
No. Yeah,
That
it's
is
not.
what is being presented as the argument to the courts. There's no way to reconcile these things. All the identification is on the envelope.
So your allegation then is that these are ballots that aren't even tied to voters. They're just a bunch of made-up ballots that they're putting together to.
Well, that's not my allegation. It's the allegation that is being presented to the courts.
And then how come the courts keep throwing it out if it's so Loctite?
Because they're partisan courts. They haven't gotten to the federal courts yet. We're dealing with the state courts. Now, when
it gets to the federal courts, we'll be able to go back and impeach all the judges on the state level because they lied or they intentionally.
They should do that, yes, if it's partisan. I mean, honestly.
But hold on. So, you think that the local government courts are partisan?
Yes.
And they're lying and intentionally keeping the president from being president by giving the votes to Biden. Is that your allegation? Yes or no?
Yes, and
Okay,
well, wait, let me finish. They did that in Florida.
Because it's biased and it's partisan, you're waiting for it to get to the federal level where it's more a conservative judge trusting on that bias.
You make a good argument, but that's what they did in Florida. That's what they did in Florida.
What did they do in Florida?
The conservative justice back in 2000 stopped the count. Then the feds restarted the count. Then they stopped the count again because it was a 5-4 decision in the Supreme Court. But if you look back at the evidence, when they continued the count unofficially, Gore actually won Florida.
Turn his mic down just a little bit.
Yeah, do that.
I'm starting to get a headache.
Sorry about that. Mike?
His mic, yeah.
Yeah, my mic.
There you go.
Yeah, that works.
So,
but that's what they discovered in Florida when they actually continued the count unofficially. Gore actually won.
No, but at the end of it, Gore didn't win.
Gore actually would have won if they actually continued the count.
No.
Yes.
No, because
yes.
they counted all the ballots.
Go
back and look.
They didn't.
Count all the. Go back and look.
I did look.
Count all the ballots. They counted every single ballot. And Bush won. Barely won, but he won.
No, they stopped the count, and Roger was actually part of that with the whole Brooks Brothers riot. When they
Did you say Brooks Brothers riot?
That's what it was called, the Brooks Brothers riot. It literally is called the Brooks Brothers riot, guys. Go on Wikipedia. That's where they coined the thing, "Get me Roger Stone." And if they actually went back, Gore won, I think it was by 4 votes, when they actually finished the count unofficially, when they actually did count every
Holy
ballot.
Shit, there was something called the Brooks Brothers.
Roger.
Isn't that funny? You know why? Because they're all white bread
wearing suits.
Brooks Brothers wearing suits.
Hey, Roger wasn't going to lead a riot without them, everyone looking the part of having some class and style.
Many of the demonstrators were paid Republican operatives, according to investigative reporter Greg Palast. The best democracy money can buy.
Go back to our archive. What was it, March of this year, when we interviewed Roger Stone?
Yeah.
I think it was March.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Anyway.
So I'm still looking for.
It says Bush won by 524 votes.
That was.
God damn, son. On a recount after they counted all the ballots. He won by 154. And then they recounted it again, only Broward County, and he won by 537. That's after they stopped it. It's right here. I got it right. Look, there you go.
I read something else. I think it was on Politico. Give me 1 second.
Well, Politico is a right-wing
No, it's not.
or left wing.
No, it's not.
Political? What is it? What is it then?
It's like a fact checker, truth checker thing.
Yeah, they're actually pretty. Oh my god, this mic is loud.
Are you using a wireless?
No, I'm using a wired, dude.
The wired one?
Chicago Tribune argument.
It's wired.
So the Chicago Tribune, I just Googled it.
Chicago Tribune is...
So Bush wins, Gore wins, depending on how ballots are added up. And this is from an article from November 13th, 2001, and it was originally from the Los Angeles Times writing staff.
So what did it say?
If the recount had been conducted under new vote counting rules that Florida and other states are now adopting, rules aimed at recording the intentions of as many voters as possible, Democrat candidate Al Gore probably would have won.
Probably. But according to Wikipedia, after all the votes were counted, Bush won by 157 votes.
So you saying that Bush shouldn't have been president?
That's the storyline from the left, yes.
Is that what you're saying there, Leland?
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Because we'd all still be at war with Man Bear Pig right now.
This is true.
So all these absentee
fact check
ballot
Let's
request
see here. I
forms,
found
I'm
an. Let's see
saying,
here.
have-
November 13th, 2020 by NPR. Let's see here.
Okay, now fact check saying a full count was never conducted. Wikipedia is saying it was conducted. So I guess it just depends on whatever website you land on and then whatever you believe when you land on that website. Like, these mics are awesome. Can we just
These
say
are amazing
that these
mics.
mics are amazing? These wireless mics.
Yeah,
They
I'm
sound
awesome. You can keep telling me I'm awesome.
It sounds like they're going through a
Wired
it
mic.
sounds like they have a decent preamp
Yeah.
coming out of the box too.
Wired
Coming
mic.
out of the box,
Yeah, the wireless the receiver box.
the receiver box,
Let's see, the Intercept.
intercept,
Anyway, but
that-
so
contracept.
so okay, so that was a very
Democrats should remember Al Gore won Florida but lost the presidency in a preemptive surrender. November 10th, 2018.
And what was that from?
The Intercept.
The Intercept, so left wing rag.
I mean,
And that
you
was
can't just
close.
Dismiss.
And that was close. That was a close race. This isn't even close. He's not close in Michigan. Definitely not close in Nevada. He needs all 6 states to flip, not just Florida.
So you have two arguments. You have the stuffing of the ballots, and you also have the arguments.
And you
about
think it's so you think all 6 of those states did the exact same thing to rob the election from Trump?
I think it's 30 states that use these Dominion voting machines. And Sidney Powell, there's a lot of controversy that came out about Sidney Powell over the weekend that the Trump campaign has said she's not with the Trump legal team, which is true. She never was with the Trump legal team officially. She never received funding from the Trump legal team. But I don't think they're going to be doing joint press conferences going forward. There's a lot of stuff that I was taking in today, which I'll have more information to talk about next week once I'm able to, as you say, digest the information and verify what is real and what is.
Now we got a guest coming on next week who is an investigative reporter who claims that he has all this information.
Yes, that's correct.
And what's his name?
Holland van de Nieuwenhof.
Holland Van
de Nieuwenhof.
Holland Van den Nieuwenhof.
Van den Nieuwenhof.
Van den Nieuwenhof will be here next week to discuss this in more detail because apparently he's discovered all this stuff. My question is, how did the Democrats get courts in 6 states all to ignore factual evidence, if it existed, to continue to keep this thing going?
It's the same reason why they always, whenever you have the presidential campaign, they always fight about the Supreme Court justices and packing the court. If you look, it's a lot of these decisions.
It's not the same at all.
Actually, it is.
It is not. Because what we're talking about is collusion between the states' courts, all these states, to do the exact same thing, is what you're alleging. That they are ignoring facts and evidence as being presented and then telling us they're not bringing anything.
That seems to be happening,
I mean,
especially with the certification of the votes in Michigan.
Okay, hold on. I can see what Leland says there because like there's certain states that are notorious for it, like any of the West Coast states or the Northeast states, because then they'll put it in, and then what'll happen? They'll pass some sort of goofy gun law, and the Democrats, like the judge, is like, "Oh, I'm a Democrat and I don't like guns either, so no." So then it has to get appealed until it gets to like a Supreme Court who's like conservative-ish, and then they're like, "Yeah, no, that's unconstitutional as hell. You can't do that." So suck it, lower courts. But yeah, I mean, I can.
DC versus Heller that's a good example right there.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see where that that has a little bit
now,
of.
See, we got a viewer here. Randy says that it's conservative judges that are throwing this out too, and one even issued a scathing judgment against the plaintiffs for bringing no real evidence. That was a conservative judge. Did he get paid off?
No, that was.
Is it a conservative judge, or is it what they call a rhino, Republican in name only?
I think that was like in Georgia or something.
Yeah, it was in Georgia.
Yeah, but
wait, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. What is a rhino?
A Republican in name only, RINO.
It's a Republican that doesn't hate homosexuals, that's not hardcore evangelical Christian, and doesn't believe that everybody's coming after their guns. That's a rhino.
Okay, but they are coming after our guns.
They
always
I
are.
agree. Yeah, I do agree.
They're always coming after our guns.
It doesn't matter what party it is. It's always.
I'm just saying, all the extreme things that the Republicans hold true.
Gun rights are
rhinos
not
don't.
extremes. Okay, ever.
I know that.
Get your Janet Reno talking
that.
ass out of here.
I'm looking at the totality of what I just said.
Yeah,
and a true Republican thinks that 100% of the time, every day, hates homosexuals, same-sex marriage, anti-abortion. That's a Republican.
That's just an asshole.
Yeah, it's just an asshole. I know plenty of Republicans that are
is
like
somebody who
whatever.
claims they're Republican but doesn't hold all of those things that they might not be against same-sex marriage, but they claim they're Republican. That's a rhino.
I mean,
or that questions the Republican Party. That's a rhino. A rhino is somebody that questions the Republican Party, especially when they get silly.
I'm still mad that you tried to say gun rights was a small issue, because it's not.
I didn't say it was a small issue. I'm just saying
alluded
it was
to it.
No, I did not.
Yeah,
don't
it was an
start
illusion.
painting. You know exactly where I stand on gun rights and the Second Amendment, so don't start painting that picture.
You were painted a picture that made me very mad.
You're just mad because I don't have a PTR yet. That's why you're mad. And you're mad because I carry a 1911 like a man.
Well, no, I mean you can carry whatever FUD, manpower, stopping power, with 2 world wars, having ass handgun,
and Vietnam.
Yeah,
which has
hold on.
Which has a magazine that holds less than 10
It
bullets.
lost Vietnam, and Korea just ended.
Korea just ended because
I didn't say we lost it. I said the 1911 served in those wars.
Yeah, but the 1911 won World War I and won World War II.
You know what the
how many I'm sorry. How many battles did we lose in Vietnam?
All of
that's
them.
right. None.
All of them.
No,
all of them.
We didn't lose one battle. We didn't lose any battle in the Tet Offensive.
Other than the whole
strategically,
war.
the Tet Offensive was a failure.
For the NBA.
But as a propaganda tool, it was a great success because it showed that this country wasn't as stable as the United States was saying it was.
We still lost.
Wasn't the issue with the battles is okay, you won every battle in Vietnam, but then you didn't hold the territory, and that allowed the Viet Cong to get back in.
Well, here's what happened in Vietnam.
Not
Vietnam,
enough Operation Ranch Hand.
Here's what happened in Vietnam. Yeah.
Jesus.
What is Operation Ranch?
No. No.
Operation Ranch Hand.
This is
Dow Chemical was like, "What up, U.S. government? We got a whole bunch of defoliant," and you're like,
"Oh, the Agent Orange stuff."
No, not just Agent Orange. Agent Orange was the name of one of the defoliants.
That was just one of them.
It actually came in a rainbow of defoliants, and we were like, "Hey, it's a really cool idea. What if we put these big ass sprayers on the back of C-123s and C-130s and just kind of like spray the shit out of the jungle,
turn the whole country into
super hard?" And they were like, "Oh hell yeah, brother!"
And
Dow Chemicals was like, "Done."
And give
we
all
got
the GIs
whole
cancer.
rainbow of death.
You know, my father actually did the study when he was at the Heinz VA in Chicago back in the early 80s that linked all that Operation Ranch Hand stuff to glyphosates. So, and
All right.
cancer.
So I'm going to ignore the fact that first you asked what the hell is Operation Ranch Hand, and then you admitted that your dad did some work on
Well,
that
I didn't.
operation.
I knew what it. I knew the whole thing. I didn't know what the operation was called.
But let me tell you about Vietnam. This is what happens when an industrialized nation like the United States fights in a world war and wins, but in the process discovers that it is a huge, gargantuan boon to the economy. So right after World War II, all the GIs came home. The wartime economy stopped because we were no longer pumping out bombers and tanks and everything else. So it put a lot of people out of work. So we needed another conflict. We needed another war. A couple of years later, Korea. Korea kept the military-industrial complex going for a couple of years to like 1955. Things started dropping off again. So we had to come up with a way to feed the military-industrial complex, and that's what led us into Vietnam. There was no tactical reason whatsoever for the United States to get involved in Vietnam or any part of that region of the country.
Yeah, wasn't it France's problem?
It was originally, yes.
It started out as a French colony. In World War II, the Japanese took it over and kicked the French out. And then the French came back and wanted to be colonists again. Ho Chi Minh, the guy that we fought, read our Declaration of Independence trying to get independent from France. He was 100% supported by the CIA. Well, back then it was called the OSS. He was supported by the United States government. The only reason why we went into Vietnam is we had to feed the military-industrial complex.
Well,
That's
and
why.
communism.
Also, communism.
Well,
you kind of left out the whole communism.
I left it out because there was no. I left it out for one reason, because that was the propaganda reason given, but there was no logical reason why on this planet, if Vietnam would have went totally communist, which it wasn't going to be communist.
Well,
Ho Chi Minh was not a communist. He accepted help from China, and so they were painted as communists. But he studied our Constitution. He wanted to make a constitution like ours for his country.
Yeah, but then they turned into commies.
How much did you study the?
Well, it doesn't matter. Even if the whole country was communist, it would have done nothing to affect our safety here in the United States.
Oh,
Nothing.
it definitely.
Now,
does.
how much did you?
How, Mike?
Okay.
How? Tell me how.
Let me explain to you. Here's the problem with communism.
Not communism. How is Vietnam? Because
communism-
Vietnam has been communist since 1974, and the United
yeah.
States is still here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
tell me why, from 1963 to 1974, we fought a war over there, pumped trillions of dollars into that country.
Not enough.
When it wouldn't have made a difference in the beginning anyway.
Okay, so let me tell you, this is the way communism works. It's bad. And as an
Shut up,
American, I'm scared of things I don't know. So therefore,
There
we
you
should
go.
bomb the communism out of it.
How much
That's
did
it.
you?
Now, with that being said,
Take them all up in helicopters, right?
no,
Hueys, right?
that we cannot Pinochet them and throw them out of helicopters. As awesome as that is.
Now, how much did you study the Kennedy assassination, Davis? How much did you study the Kennedy assassination? Because Kennedy, he campaigned.
Did you lost your mic?
He campaigned.
No, he's on a what's called.
what?
Oh, he's on a
Goes on
timeout?
some dipshit rant.
Did you hit the dipshit button?
He did it. He got that before me. So there you go.
Anyway, it doesn't matter about communism. It doesn't matter about any of that stuff. It's all about the military-industrial complex.
Can we
And
talk
went through a long dry period between 1974 and 1989, and then communists fell. So now we needed a new enemy. We needed because they found that they could feed the military-industrial complex with the threat of a Soviet war with Soviet Russia. So they kept feeding it. A lot of R&D went into that. The M1 tank came out of that, which was a joint development between Germany, the United Kingdom, and the United States, which turned out the Chieftain tank, the M1 Abrams tank, and the Panther. Or the Leopard, I'm sorry, the Leopard and the Leopard 2 were all tanks, all used the same gun, the 120 millimeter Rheinmetall. Let me finish.
I was going
And
to
that
say.
If
was-
you're gonna go on some like nerd rant about like military weapons and stuff like that, like,
Well, just,
People watch the
enjoy
History
it.
Channel because of that.
Enjoy it.
Alex, come
Anyway, but then in 1989, what happened?
on. The Berlin Wall fell.
Russia fell. Russia dissolved.
Well, it was actually 91, but the Berlin Wall, which was the start of it.
1989,
Berlin Wall.
Russia no longer became the big threat that we had to spend all this money on our big military-industrial complex anymore.
That was a lie.
And how many years did it take for us to get into the next conflict?
right?
Almost immediately, Somalia. Oh, Gulf War, yes.
The Gulf War.
We were in conflict before Somalia and the
I
Gulf
keep
War.
thinking
I'm
that-
talking about.
we had Panama, we had Grenada, we had
I'm not
all
talking
sorts of
about.
shit going
I'm
on.
not talking
in
about
Latin
a
America.
crap
Latin
Yeah,
America
yeah.
fighting communism.
Backhanded,
I'm not
given
talking about little guerrilla war
missiles to
crap.
the
I'm talking about
Mujahideen.
military-industrial complex, tanks, guns, artillery, planes, helicopters. The next war we
Panama.
had was 1991. That was the largest tank battle in the 20th in that century, and I was in it.
And your flag was in it.
and it was amazing. The flag that's hanging behind Alex right there.
I don't know,
inside-
man. I mean, don't discount the South American conflicts.
So
I mean,
I-
that was some real shit.
I'm not. We're not comparing conflicts, guys. You have to pay attention to what I'm trying to
I
say.
did. I literally just
That's
said. You
not
said I'm
feeding
not
the
talking
military-industrial complex.
About, how is it not?
Because it's
How is it
too.
not justifying?
Because it's too small
Well,
and localized, and it's over too quickly. You have to have a long, sustained operation like Iraq,
Wasn't it only 2 days?
like Syria, like Afghanistan, which is the biggest money maker for the military-industrial complex. We're going on, 16 years we've been fighting over there?
19 years.
19,
Yeah.
almost 20 years we've been at war in Afghanistan. That's feeding the military-industrial complex. Remember, 57 cents of every tax dollar that's taken out of your paycheck goes towards that military-industrial complex, and they still are behind, and they still need more money.
How long was the ground conflict of the original Gulf War in 91? It was like 2 days.
100 hours. 100,
4 days.
100 hours. Yep.
And then they went into Somalia and then Bosnia and then Afghanistan since
Oh, we never really went into Bosnia.
Yeah, that was like peacekeeping stuff because, Bosnia's stupid.
they shot down a stealth bomber.
Well, maybe we shouldn't have
Yeah,
been
one
stealth
bomber.
bombers.
The stealth fighter, which is supposed to be
Yeah, they shot down
invisible.
2 of those things.
Yeah, the
They were
F-117.
like,
They got
we can see
Not
them.
so
some got
stealth now.
shot. Some got shot down in 91 too. So they're not.
yeah.
All right. From
Dang
Randy
old.
Fry, a federal judge on Saturday dismissed a lawsuit critical to President Donald Trump's long shot bid to overturn his November 3rd election loss, calling his legal claim Frankenstein's monster. Republican judge.
Who was he appointed by?
He's a Republican judge. Who do you think he got appointed by? Reagan? Bush?
Bush or Bush, which those guys are both establishment
Okay, so
Republicans.
this is a Democrat now, right? This is a Democrat? Is that what you're saying? He's going to lie. He's going to throw stuff out of court, even though he's going to throw out evidence.
John
claim that-
Roberts did that with Obamacare.
He's going to throw out evidence and say that there's no evidence. He's going to lie. He's going
Yeah,
to
I mean,
perjure himself. That's one.
That's what John.
That's one. U.S. District Court Matthews Braun in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, described the case as strained legal arguments without merit and speculative accusations. Another
Leland, would it
Republican
be any
judge.
surprise to you that the reality TV show hyperbolic, quite literal man-child could probably just not be able to lose gracefully and not make a big shit show out of it? And then get a bunch of people on his payroll to go along with it because, hey, if he actually wins, they actually come up on top.
I think there's a long way for this.
You know, it
being
makes
finished.
for good TV.
It does make for good TV.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You know, it's all
Braun,
about
by
them
the way,
ratings.
Braun, by the way, is a Republican, and according to his biography, a member of the Federalist Society, so he's a constitutionalist, and a group of conservative and libertarian lawyers and law students and scholars. So he's a hardcore constitutionalist, which
Who appointed
means
him?
he's not gonna roll up in there, take physical evidence, good physical evidence, and say, nope, there's no evidence. That's what you're claiming these judges are doing on a mass scale is perjure themselves for President Trump.
I think so, and I think that are also
For what gain?
What do you know?
To maintain the system status quo. Now, what's of interest?
Hold on, Trump's not part of the system, though.
Right, that's why they don't want him there. Now, what's of interest is that Judge Alito, acting as a circuit judge, ordered that all these ballots in Pennsylvania that came in after the date be cast aside. Use the term segregated. That's just using that term as a specific definition, not as any type of racial term or anything, but that's the verb definition of it. That came in after the date and not be counted as part of the total count until they could determine the validity of it. They've ignored that argument. They've ignored the order from a federal.
But they have to have evidence.
It's an order from a federal judge, and they're ignoring it.
What's in the order says what?
The order said to segregate all the ballots that came in after November 3rd at 7 p.m. and not include them in the total count. They can still be counted, but they have to be separated, segregated, whatever term you want to use, away from the ballots that they already received, and they're refusing to do that. And so the argument that Giuliani says is that they're actually intentionally dumping all these extra ballots in and spoiling the entire lot, so you can't tell what is what, and that's why all 800,000 have to be tossed.
So 800,000 votes.
Yeah,
800,000.
That's just
tax-paying.
That's just
citizens of the United States get their vote thrown out.
Well, who knows if they're 800,000, if they're actually votes, or if they're just a bunch of ballots that are generated on a machine that they're all for Biden. Statistically, having this dump of information.
All 800,000 were for Biden? All 800,000.
Like 90%, which is statistically impossible.
And where are you getting all this information?
All over the place. All over the place.
Give me one. Give me one. I'll look it up right now.
Let's see here.
We're past our break.
800,000. Yeah, why don't we go on break and I'll look up the information.
Go on break and let Leland.
That way it's better TV. So
there you go. Anyway, we'll be back. Leland.
No, man, I like watching you eat crow.
Leland will have the evidence. Something his president
time to play this.
Can't seem to come up with. We'll be right back. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Radio Man Cave. And you're on the air.
Goes. Oh.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you love what we're doing here, please subscribe to our Patreon, visit us there, and take care of us. Support the channel. We really, really appreciate it. Come on, get into it. Do it. Thank you so much for watching. Keep up the good stuff.
That was it?
But okay.
Just a short one? All right, well, I'll figure it out. Man. I'll figure it out. It's all right. It's okay. I got you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, time to play this award.
Okay. So, Washington Examiner from November 13th. Lawsuit filed Thursday. United States District Court in Green Bay contends that absentee voting process in Milwaukee County, Dane County, where Wisconsin's capital of Madison is located, and Menominee County included illegal votes and thus must have their presidential election results invalidated. See here, let's see. Last year, some 72,000 voters were indefinitely confirmed. The number reported exploded to 243,000.
Where'd you hear that?
That is the Washington Examiner. What I did is I Googled 800,000 ballots to be tossed.
And it's 800,000?
NBC, yeah.
In one state.
Yeah, and California.
So
NBC,
California. So over 500,000 votes.
California, NBC.
Thrown out.
Yeah, California, NBC News from July. 100,000 botched mail-in primary mailed-in ballots for presidential primary were tossed. most of the discounted votes arrived late, while others were lacking signatures. This is AP reported by NBC about California during the primaries.
Now, you said the Washington Examiner said this?
Yeah, and then the
right.
100,000 votes that were tossed in the primaries, that was NBC News via AP. New York Post, 80,000 mail-in ballots disqualified in New York City primary mess, August 5th. That was New York Post, over 80,000. It says 84,108 ballots were not counted or invalidated, or 21%. That was in the primary in New York in August.
So these votes are not being counted.
That's
well,
correct.
Hold on now. A week ago.
And Trump's still losing in these states.
Let's see here. And then PBS also reported on the California primary where 100,000 ballots were had to be chunked because of mistakes. That was also PBS of the AP story. So that's the mail-in ballots. The second argument is obviously the Dominion voting machines, where there's a lot of interesting allegations that came out about these machines.
Please do tell.
That the counts were being tallied overseas in servers, that people had access to the code to manipulate the count in real time, that it was easy to hack into these machines within 1 minute because they had USB ports which were not secure. And these were stories that were run by NBC and by a bunch of left-wing operations such as Now This News before the election.
What's the date on the new federal lawsuit seeks to toss 800,000 ballots?
November 13th.
All right, so in November 16th, Washington Examiner, the headline is Plaintiffs drop federal lawsuit in Wisconsin that sought to toss 800,000 ballots.
Because they got the relief. They didn't have to go through with it. They got what they wanted from that they're actually doing a full forensic audit of the state in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Which is going to take time. Honestly,
well, they have till next week.
What's probably going to happen is there's going to be enough evidence that's going to be presented in the next couple weeks.
Because they haven't presented any yet.
There's going to be enough evidence that's going to be presented to the federal courts in the next couple weeks that they're not going to rule that the electors go to Trump, but what they're going to do is they're going to decertify those states so nobody gets 270, which means it goes to Congress to pick the president. Now, the interesting thing with these Dominion voting machines...
Isn't that kind of Trump's end game?
That's a very, very smart way of an end game because because this is going to take over a year to figure...
So they're going to decertify the votes. It's going to go to Congress. The democracy is undermined, and the majority Republican Congress is going to pick president. Donald Trump as president. Because
he had over 100 million votes, it's going to turn out. So when we had this argument last week where if it goes back to the legislature, the Democrats are going to vote him out. Well, maybe not, because maybe it was a majority Republican votes in all these states, where the evidence is pointing towards that, and that Trump might have gotten 100 million votes in the popular vote.
So after he gets appointed against the will of the people.
Is it against the will of the people? Because if he had 100...
It goes through a whole year of diligent investigation by the president who just got appointed by the Congress, and it comes to find out that he had lost the election, then what?
Honestly, I think he won it. I think he wins.
I didn't ask you that.
It's going to take more than a year. How long did it take for that Russian gaslighting to go through? 4 years. It's going to be. This is not going to be resolved in a year.
Yeah, but that was bullshit, and there was never any evidence.
And it went for 4 years. We do have evidence.
And now we have all this. Now we have all this stuff, all this evidence that you claim the Republicans have, but they're holding back for some reason. You have all this stuff ready to go. It's all right there. We're not digging. We're not going across overseas. We're not trying to indict people who are no names. These are ballots. These are physical things that you can hold in your hand. It's not going to take years to count those again.
I think with the Dominion voting systems, which is the much larger case of voting fraud, and you're an ex-law enforcement officer, you know you can't build a case overnight or even in a few weeks, and then you don't telegraph what you have until you get before the judge.
But even if the Dominion voting systems were found to be flawed, then we'd have to have a total redo of the election. We'd have to have another election next January.
You know what they should? They should do that if that's the case, and that would serve everyone, make everyone happy. Absolutely. And what we should also go towards is, since we're all being public about who we voted for, I think we should be allowed to keep a record of our ballots, and we have our names on it. Because everyone here is.
Well, see, that goes against our that goes against our sovereignty as individuals. You can't do that. You know why you can't do that?
Why?
Because that way my employer can't go find out who I voted with and hold that against me and fire me if it's not for somebody he voted for.
You see, and that answers y'all's question about why their names and signatures are not on.
But as long as the vote was legally cast, as long as the vote was cast, and it was cast by a citizen that they went in and signed in and put their thumbprint down, or whatever the frickin' state does, or they have a control number on their envelope that they put their ballot in, that once it gets to the counting station, that ballot comes out of the envelope and into a counting box with no name or nothing on it. What is going on?
Here's a question: would you trust using these with biometrics instead?
Don't change the
Yeah, all I'm saying is we should recall all the votes totally.
Yeah, we should just have another election.
And we should call it Total Recall.
That's actually clever. That is clever, Davis.
No, go ahead, get no votes.
Is that this thing, or is that are we having just signal dropouts?
I don't know. It's probably because you guys are pointing the what's called at each other.
Yeah.
The antennas at each other, but it shouldn't.
Like
that shouldn't do that. It shouldn't affect it. Isn't it a digital mic or something like that?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Man. These mics sound pretty damn
They
good.
sound
Radio
amazing.
waves are something silly, and I think what's happening is the tinfoil coming off of both your guys' heads is throwing off interference.
Hey, I here's where I'm at. President Trump, who's never going to see this broadcast, it's over. It's over.
Unless it's not.
I agree with Davis.
No, Davis is just being an instigator.
Dun, 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 dun.
They put chemicals in the water to make our mics not work.
Huh?
They put chemicals in the water to make our mics not work.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There we go.
Yeah. See, me and Alex, hey, remember that one time me and Alex were right? That this was going to drag on for months?
I was saying it was going to drag on for months.
And it's going to turn into a giant shit. And you were like,
didn't you say that Trump doesn't want to be president?
Yeah.
That he's gonna if he loses.
I'll be honest with you. I was wrong about this. I was wrong about it. I'll tell you this.
You're the only one. We all were saying.
I'll tell you this. We're not going to fracture into a bunch of warring countries with people running around with Adidas suits blowing each other away.
Whoa.
That's not going to happen.
Whoa.
First of all,
balkanization of the United States.
Do not make me go get my sambas, because I will.
As cool as that would be, I don't see that happening.
I don't think it'd be cool.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Apparently
they didn't see Yugoslavia
I don't think it'd be
starting
cool
anime
either.
but
I don't think it'd be cool either, but
Or the Ottoman Empire.
it seems like everybody's pushing for that. Well, the small minority of people that are being amplified by social media are pushing that agenda, most of which probably wouldn't last 5 minutes anyway.
You know, Franz Ferdinand didn't see himself becoming the sole reason why anime exists.
You bring this
but
up
here
every
we
time.
are.
Wait, how do we go?
Because I'm right.
How do we go from World War
No
I
one's
to
arguing
anime?
that you're not.
I
You
want
are?
to see
I'm not
a
arguing that you're
balkanization that
wrong.
includes Texas
Yeah.
on the panhandle, stretching straight up,
Wait.
splitting
North.
Manitoba and Saskatchewan in half, all the way up to the pole
For Texas Plus.
for Texas Plus.
Wait,
Texas Plus,
Brought to you by
I can
HEB.
abide.
Wait.
I can abide.
Brought to you by HEB.
I want to ask Davis this
I can
chain
abide.
this chain of questions that we go from Franz Ferdinand to anime. Is it because Franz Ferdinand created World War I,
Yes.
which the Treaty of Versailles led to World War II, and
Yep.
Japan switched sides from the Allies to the Axis powers? What was it? the Axis powers. Then we nuked them.
Yep.
And then we wrote their constitution banning pornography, which then created anime and the tentacle
And
stuff.
hentai.
And
Yes.
hentai.
Wait,
that is-
their
So was I
constitution
100%
banned
correct
pornography?
following
Yeah,
that
dude,
chain?
it's awesome. That's
That's-
why Jav all has the the blurry stuff for those
What the hell
uninformed
is
people.
Jav?
Japanese adult videos. It's just called
Called
Jav. For short.
Jav.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
wrote their constitution. It says,
Jav.
yeah, you bombed Pearl Harbor, so we're
Way
going
to
to take away
stick
your
it to 'em.
your adult your porn.
sucks now, but I guess you can animate
McCarthy was
weird
just
shit.
like, don't let him look at tits anymore.
Yeah. Well, no,
Nothing.
tits are cool, but
Nothing.
like
No tits.
No
No.
penetration.
no little giblies, no ghibli
We're
bits.
just gonna make it all pixelated.
no weenies, no vaginas,
Oh shit, Lake Winnipeg is huge.
but everything else is cool.
Isn't it big?
Yeah.
They got some big ass trout up there too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Soon Texas Plus is gonna have all that.
Texas Plus. With
Brought to you by HEB.
Not only that,
Why do you
Texas
say that?
Plus-
Because they play me every time I do.
For those of us that are
Plus, won't Texas Plus have parts of Wisconsin and North and South Dakota?
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna have like a quarter of Kansas.
Yeah.
It's gonna be right there up through Colorado, just straight up. Just
we
to
should
hell yeah.
we should reclaim the old Republic of Texas boundaries, which include Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and
Nah, screw
Aspen.
that. We just
Yeah,
wanna
no,
go straight up.
We're having issues keeping the old Mexicans out.
We're gonna
Why do we
make-
want the new Mexicans?
But we don't want it. But we don't want anybody from Ontario, right?
No, we just want the people in
I thought
Yorkton,
Calgary's
the Pass,
decent.
Flin Flon.
Ontario.
I thought Calgary.
Ontario is basically North America's France.
Oh.
Ontario's like
Wait, I
way
thought that was
over here,
Quebec.
man.
Yeah,
You're
all-
worried-
I thought that was
Talking
Quebec.
about
I thought that was Quebec. That was North America's
Yeah,
France.
Quebec, Ontario.
You don't have to worry about that. That's way
Nope.
out over there. That's Maine's problem.
No.
Yeah.
No,
that's
Calgary. Ontario is a province in the center of the of
Yeah.
Canada.
Ontario's
Yeah,
a
Quebec.
different-
Quebec's a French place.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we want to turn the Texas Panhandle into the Texas Axe Handle.
By the
That's
way,
right.
we have the triumphant
you go.
return of
Texas
radar
will be
cam.
guitar shaped, basically.
Yeah.
So are you done? Are you
Gigantic ice statue of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
are you done with the Mad Circus stuff?
It's going to be a little bit difficult. Can we put something together for next
I'll
Monday?
put something together. I'll put something together to make the transitions easy.
Yeah. Because it's just
Why don't you just show
I
that?
got you, bro.
Why don't you,
know
show
what,
me?
I gotta wait
I
for
got
the
you,
page to
bro.
load,
Why don't you just show
and
me
I
the
gotta
music?
do
Why don't you
this.
just show everyone the music video I directed?
And then I gotta
Again,
click
that's like
that.
4.5 minutes.
Well, do you know what transition is super difficult? This transition from presidency.
It has been very difficult,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
It's got to transition to a second term.
It's like, okay, let's have a bet. I want to bet.
We're going to bet.
I want to bet.
It's
Leland.
between you guys because
I'm not betting anything 'cause I always lose my bets.
regardless. So,
I bet you that Donald Trump will not have a second term.
I am terrible at
already
bets, so
have
I'm not
this.
taking
you
you
guys
up on
should
this bet.
Bet
I
cheeseburgers.
know because I lose bets all the time.
Well, then bet. I bet you won't.
Then bet.
Yeah.
Then Trump
Alex,
will lose if I bet
you
on
nothing
him.
That he won't
You
bet.
think the existence of his presidency hinges on the fact
hinges?
Yes. With my luck,
on a bet?
yes.
Yeah.
With my luck, yes. No, I'm not going to bet you because that's going to jinx
Come
Trump.
on.
I'm going to jinx Trump if I bet on him. So I'm not going to bet
how
on him.
elections work, but okay.
That's not how elections work.
I believe in
You
super.
have the evidence. You have the evidence. You have the voting machines. You have everything in your favor. You just said
You have a
he
hat.
will win. He's won by a landslide.
And you
All
won't
this
even-
stuff's going to be done.
You won't even bet barbecue plate.
A barbecue plate. A
I'm
barbecue
not, I am
plate.
not betting you
I wouldn't even
because
bet him a
because I will
cheeseburger.
jinx it.
Come on, a barbecue
'Cause
plate.
I'll
I will
never get it.
I'll jinx it.
How?
Yeah. Yeah. See, I learned what happens when you bet with him.
See, Leland, who hasn't bought shoes since 2003, just doesn't want to be in risk of having to buy a barbecue plate.
Yeah. You know. But if he wins,
Hey, I got those same shoes, man.
if he wins, we'll see when he gets his stuff delivered. Still
They're actually
waiting.
pretty comfortable watches.
No, that's right.
Still
We
waiting on my burger.
I was going to say we forgot
those
the
are pretty comfortable.
forgot the
walking
quad. Yes.
shoes. Oh god dang it! I keep forgetting that.
Do you know what's cooler than what are those like Nike Dad Maxes or whatever the fucks?
What's that?
Goddamn Adidas.
Boom.
Yeah.
Adidas.
I remember that one time we went hiking and the Adidas shoes did like the best.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they're known for that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Man, my Nikes broke down, man.
Yeah. Do you know what didn't break down? Adidas. They have the backing, right? of the strongest people on the world. Slavs.
All right, since we're not going to show videos, let's get to our NFL picks. How did we do last week?
Okay, everybody else except for me sucked.
Well, the Lions scored exactly as many points as they would have scored if they would have had a bye week.
I could have told you that because there's...
No, you couldn't have told me that.
Oh, I easily could have. Hey, what is my theory, everybody, about the Detroit Lions and Michigan teams as a whole?
Actually,
all terrible.
Actually, his team
terrible.
The University of Michigan actually won this week.
Against Rutgers.
Yeah,
Let's not get all excited about that
the
win.
fact that they choke on nuts every year, literally from the
Are you just
Buckeyes,
trying to piss me off today?
Oh,
Did we wake you up in a bad mood and now you're just out here slashing at everybody?
The problem is you guys woke me up, which I was fine. But then somebody kept hitting my dump button, and I just got mad. And now I'm taking it out on you because you have a team that loses to a poisonous nut.
Buckeye.
This is true.
The Buckeye. The nut. You guys choke on the nuts every year. I'm going to keep saying that until you guys
3:53 left to
dissolve.
go on the Monday night game, Rams and Buccaneers. Rams up by 1 point, 24-23.
Speaking of choking,
Ram Bucks.
my Cropinises are going to have what? You're going to be. You went from 5-0 to now 5-6. You're going to be beat by me.
I lose.
So how do we do though?
Okay, so for all the picks, I got 4 right. The second person to come in behind me was actually Randy with 3 right.
Everyone else got 2.
And everybody else got 2 right, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Who picked the Cowboys to win?
Nobody. We all were like, yeah, we did kind of miss that one. But yeah. So
2 garbage teams, and the Cowboys barely won against Minnesota.
Yeah.
All right. So
who was the quarterback?
So who picked? So who picked the Seahawks?
Everybody.
That was the S, right?
No.
Chuck picked the Cards.
And Leland and Randy all picked the Cardinals.
They picked the Cards.
And then everybody picked the Steelers except for you. Because you're stupid.
I thought it was their time. I thought it was the time to.
Then you were like, hey, let's go battle the cat teams. And like half the people picked the Lions except for me and Leland. And we're like, you guys are all dumb. All of you.
Glad I didn't pick the Lions, otherwise I would have got 1 right.
And then we went to the Steelers. I was like, a grown man punching a baby in the face. So that was an easy pick. And then pretty much everybody picked the Vikings over the Cowboys.
And that would have been.
And we all lost.
Yeah. And then after that, most of us picked Green Bay.
Yeah, the Colts.
Other than you, Mike Allen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You picked the Colts. And that's it. So, like I said, as usual, I'm at the top of the pick list.
So you're on a fast track to the barbecue, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm really good at this whole picking stuff.
You should take him to Vegas.
And the problem is, and this is why I don't care about fantasy football, is it's math, and math is stupid. Okay, if I wanted to play a game that included statistics, I would go become like a banker or something. I just don't care. Because it's math, and math is dumb. When nerds are like, math is power, be like, nah, it's not. Get out of here.
All right.
Math is stupid.
Next week, first game up.
All right, hold on. Let me. Gotta put this page back.
Just imagine how well that would sound if he was using one of these brand new wireless mics.
Epic records keeping by Chuck's fill-in. We didn't make it in tonight, but he'll be in next week, he says.
Hold on. I wonder if you guys can
We missed you, Chuck. Radar misses you.
Don't fart on my microphones.
No, I'm not. Shut up.
I can't see what he's doing in there, and this is on a delay, so.
It's so hard. All right, hold on. Ready?
What are you doing?
I was drawing a line.
Oh.
Ass.
See, now I'm seeing what you.
Mad Mike's Picks ASMR.
Yeah.
I'm seeing what you're doing. 30 seconds later, you're a dick. Anyway. All right. Randy, if you're still around, quick witty. Guys, get ready. Here we go.
Hold on. I have to finish making the damn chart. You pacify your
God
memory.
dang.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just transition super quickly into
Well, I
this.
thought you had all
this.
this. I thought you had.
Every week I have to make this chart, and because people are extremely inconsistent, it takes time. So
And then you have to
custom-made
see, and then you have to seal it with the
charts.
penis.
Yeah, I had to put the big old penis seal on it. Okay.
Lord. So how come you won't bet me, man?
Because if I bet the sun that comes up in the morning, we would have an eclipse.
Oh, dude, can you do that? Because I'm tired
take
of seeing
that
the
bet.
sun bullshit.
I'll take that bet too.
4. Okay, me, you, Leland, Randy,
Randy's on here.
Chuck.
Oh, and this time put it in the OTA cast. Not a picture of it. Just put the games that we picked. You don't have to put everybody's. picks.
That means he would have to type it out. So
Yep.
we're lucky we're getting a
You
picture.
get pictures.
I know him well enough, right?
Yeah.
All right,
that's
first
fair
game
enough.
out the gate: Texans and Lions. You know who I'm picking.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
I might, and that's Thanksgiving.
Short week for the Lions.
We actually have 3 games on Thanksgiving.
I think the Texans, because the Lions will have a safety, so it'll be 2-0. That's how bad it's gonna be.
Oh, I'm still drawing the chart here. Oh my God, dude! You can't just spring this shit up on me.
Hey,
Bring it on you.
We've
had the whole show.
We've got radar cam. We've got
Yeah,
radar
but
licking
here's
her
the
paws.
problem. With
My
this chart
German
here,
Shepherd cat.
it takes a while.
You're a big
okay?
cat. You know that.
She
Charts
does
weren't
act like
made
a
in
cat.
a day.
She's as clean as a cat too.
You're
All right.
you're like a big cat. Yeah, you can grin if you want to.
Should teach her how to use a litter box, and it should be the perfect cat,
That's
pretty much.
disgusting. I think litter boxes are gross.
Randy Fry says you have handwriting worse than his.
Okay, I have a really good reason for it. It's because I don't like people copying my shit, so
I
I
was gonna
intentionally
say,
just started writing like shit.
You didn't want people
and then
to
I
read your
never.
shit.
It just kind of took over. So my handwriting in cursive is actually really nice, and if I take my time to write stuff, it looks well. Other than that, I just scribble it, so when people look at it, they're like, "What the?"
Hey, Alex.
Yeah, what's up?
Do me a favor. Look at the microphone, the wireless mic control up there. Is there a place up there where it shows a battery level? Like on the face on each microphone? So I just noticed there's no battery level.
Yeah, it has
It's got
frequency
the signal level
and the channel.
and the channel, but no battery.
It has the signal strength, which is exactly. It's everything but the battery.
Is there on the front there? Just while he's drawing up his thing, I'm just kind of.
All right. Well, now that we're kind of here for the most part, I guess.
Texans.
Okay, so you picked the
guess.
So
Texans.
basically, everybody's picking the Texans, but me. Randy picked the Texans.
No, I picked the Lions.
Did you?
You're picking the Lions?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be watching that game at my work.
So just us 4, right? For today?
And Randy.
Okay, so that's what I said.
Next up is Washington football team and the Cowboys. We'll pick all 3 Thanksgiving games.
Didn't Washington
The Texans
Cowboys
beat the
already play?
Patriots this week. Ooh.
It's not the same Patriots, so.
It's still Belichick coaching it. I mean, I know he's
It's not
rebuilding.
the same
I know
Patriots.
he's rebuilding the team, but yeah.
They got a lot of injuries, and
All right, who do you guys pick?
I am going to pick the Washington football team.
Who's the opponent?
The
Cowboys.
Los pinches Cowboys.
Hey, do you know that in the Norwegian language, there's no word for cowboys, so they call them American horse pirates?
You know what? I'm going to bet on the Cowboys because they're actually not.
I saw it in a meme. It's true.
They're not playing like complete crap anymore, and it's at home on Thanksgiving, which is their tradition, and they did beat the Vikings, so...
I know the meme that you're talking about. Yeah, he didn't know the word for Cowboys, so he said horse
And I
pirates.
just think that's pretty goddamn cool. So I'm going to keep saying it because, it's on the internet, so it's true. All right. The third game on Thanksgiving, it's the night game, Ravens and Steelers.
Oh, that's easy. The Steelers.
Ravens. Bird team.
We all know Chuck's is gonna bet on the Steelers.
Yeah, because he's smart.
Mm-hmm.
So I need Randy
it's his
for the
team.
Washington and the Cowboys, and then I need...
Randy Washington.
okay.
And the Texans just say no to the Lions. Well, screw you, Randy. No one likes you.
And then Leland and Randy for the Ravens and the Steelers.
I said the Steelers.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah,
Well, make sure you
realities.
enunciate it.
Waiting on Randy.
The Steelers.
Better.
All right. The next game is Seahawks and the Eagles
Duh. That one's
in
easy.
The
next
team
Monday
that-
night. It'll be a Monday night game.
The Bird team that has the record that is well over 500. So I am going to bet on Mad Mike's Seahawks.
Yeah, the Seahawks are so much better than the Eagles.
How many games is that? That's 4, right?
That's 4. So we need Green Bay next.
Here's a little sad fact of the NFC least. Each team currently in that division only has 3 wins, with every team.
What the hell voice are you using?
It's the way Sebastian Gorka talks. He always emphasizes. And since Mad Mike asked me to
Yeah, hold on a minute. Randy wants the Steelers and the Seahawks. Okay, go ahead.
emphasize these things. So each team in the NFC least has 7 losses except the Eagles, which only have 6 and a tie, which means any one of those pathetic excuses can actually make the playoffs, and they'll be soundly
Okay, finish the sentence
eliminated.
quickly. Okay, there we go. All right. Even
do
though
Gary
danger,
Busey.
even though it's like one of those things. It's like you're holding. It just keeps going. It just never stops.
Sort of like diarrhea after a
Yes.
all-you-can-eat buffet.
I mean, I dropped the hint. I interrupted you once, and you just kept going. It's amazing. Even though Danger Davis is kind of part of the crew, he's not even watching tonight. Not only does he not come in here anymore, but he's not even watching. But we're going to pick a sorry-ass team that's got a running back as a quarterback as they go up to Mile High Stadium and take on the Broncos. Saints-Broncos.
Saints.
I got to pick the Saints. That guy was actually pretty good. The Hill.
Yeah.
I don't know why they started him over Jameis Winston.
Hey, who'd you pick over the Seahawks and the Eagles?
I picked the Seahawks.
Okay, because you didn't say it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Seahawks.
Okay.
I will never, ever, ever, ever pick the Cowboys or the Eagles. Ever.
Is there a specific reason?
But they're America's team.
Because one of the Cowboys, Randy Fry wants the Saints. And 2, we used to have a guy on the show called Joe. He was from Pennsylvania.
Joe.
Oh, Crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe Pardini.
Ah, yes.
And he would never shut up about the damn Eagles. All right. We got one game left. One more game, right?
Yeah, we always pick Green Bay.
I always pick Green Bay. Packers and the Bears. Sunday night.
Well, that's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a good game.
How's the Bears quarterback doing
The
after
battle of the pork chops and the
Brats.
brats.
The brats.
Yeah,
Bring your
it's
brats
the
and your
cheese-
pork chops.
The cheese curds and the nacho cheese. Oh man, that sounds like a good football game.
Fino.
That makes me
Welcome.
hungry.
Where's the Bears record this
Fino,
year?
if you want to get on these picks, let me know. I'll get you the.
I already know who I'm picking though.
We'll run down the teams.
Got to stay tried and true.
I got to pick the Pack, man, even though I hate them.
Go Packers. How
like-
do you hate the Packers?
I don't know, because I'm a Lions fan. You got to hate the Packers if you're a Lions fan.
Well, I mean, you got to hate winning too, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, even though I'm from
Dick sometimes, you know that?
even though I'm from Chi-Town, the
sorry.
statistics
Complete asshole.
aren't going to lie. I will go with the Packers. I think that it was a tough loss for the Packers, and oh crap, the Bears lost to the Vikings, and the Vikings lost to the Cowboys. Yep, going with the Packers.
Yeah, Randy wants Green Bay.
Smart man. All right, it has been sealed, and what has been sealed cannot be unsealed.
Cannot be unsealed. Take a picture of it, put it in the OTA cast with your chicken scratching. Those are our picks. And you're still, have you gone back and done a compilation of all the weeks and who's winning each week?
No, I will once we get to that point. The problem is we haven't got to that point yet.
So you don't have a running tally of who's ahead over the whole
I mean, I
year?
already know because it's actually me, believe it or not. But
Of course.
Of course.
I'm really good at this whole picking
No,
thing.
he is. He's actually
Yes.
pretty good. All the years he's been on the show, he's been.
My methodology for picking like teams has been I like bird teams more,
Yeah.
and so far it has not done me wrong. Now, because there's no math involved.
Yeah, you pick an animal.
Yeah, basically.
Just picking an animal. God, these mics sound good.
Yeah,
I
these are
know.
way better.
Yeah, these
It's
are
like-
tons
it's like-
better. The only thing though is I can't tell how much battery life I got left.
The answer is a lot because it's still working.
Probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Hold on. There you go. Big old penis on it.
A big old penis for the microp penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I'm messing
nothing.
with my mount. My mounted.
What are you messing with? Or are you messing with
All
the
right,
mountain?
Alex.
Yep.
You got anything you want to talk about? Anything weighing on your mind? Anything coming up? Anything that you got a question? You want to throw it out there for discussion?
Hold on. I got
So yeah, I was gonna say is that is this just gonna be a circle jerk of bipartisan
Yes.
fucking around for the next year,
Yeah.
3 years,
Yes.
This show?
4 years? No, I'm talking about
Oh.
our government.
Oh, our
and
government,
Nothing's
yeah.
gonna get done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just gonna keep paying these guys to have their own little soap opera.
Basically.
Yes.
That's where we're at in U.S. politics.
That's infuriating.
It really is.
That's why more people should vote outside of the two-party system and get.
So
Or we can just end the federal occupation and
Occupation? Is that even a word? The federal occupation?
occupation.
he's tired. He's been up since like the same I have.
Oh yeah,
time.
man. I am beat.
Early. What I was gonna say, and I wanted to bring up,
Occupancy.
if you look at
Vacancy.
how awesome this shirt is, okay. NASA, the only alphabet letter agency that matters.
That matters. Yeah.
But
Dude, we just sent some people into space
SpaceX
because
does
of Elon friggin' Musk, and it was the coolest thing ever.
Ever.
And
Ever.
SpaceX should be doing all their in-house
Yeah.
live streams going forward.
Yeah.
They launched this
Dude,
this
It
satellite
was so dope.
the satellite that that SpaceX launched for NASA this past Saturday. NASA actually did the live stream, and it was awful. It was
Yeah.
god awful.
Oh my God! Yell louder into it. This great.
It was quite awful.
No, it was.
When NASA went and videotaped the thing of
They
when
should
the
outsource
SpaceX
everything,
shot
including-
the rocket into space. It was horrible.
They had these people that were their communication specialists that were absolutely awful.
Awful.
SpaceX, on the other hand, they have their engineers.
Could you
do the
turn
live
his mic down, please?
It's fine on my end. I think it's just
It's-
your shitty headphones.
No, I
Yeah.
think either something's turned way
No,
up
I
at
think you're
my
just
end,
really
or-
close to him, so you hear
That
it
might be
double loud.
too.
That
might
too.
be
It was
But
awful.
the fact is that SpaceX has their engineers do the live stream, and they do a better job than the people that NASA hired that are specifically communications personnel.
Yeah.
So
no,
they should outsource everything to NASA because private corporations do everything better
Yeah.
than the government.
Amen.
Yeah, no, you saw like SpaceX's, like, dude, it was awesome. It was really good. The only way it could have been better is if they put like totally badass heavy metal music when like the rocket's going up. Like I just want to hear like,
They actually
like just some dude from like Norway or like Sweden, just like
they did that with the Falcon
crushing his
Heavy.
guitar.
Yeah, they did that with the Falcon Heavy. Well, at least with David Bowie. No.
Yeah.
But it was so bad on Saturday. The cameras were
I know, you've
pointed
been
anywhere but the rocket.
You were telling you. I mean, you've been on this. We get it.
I was doing my.
We get it.
I'm
was
doing my
bad.
impersonation of how bad they are.
We get it. It was bad.
You had to say it though, like that. Awful.
Awful.
right. I'm sorry, Alex. We asked you a question, and then this guy again picked up the ball, ran the wrong way up the stadium steps, out into the parking lot, and now we can't get him to come back to the bus.
Leave him. You can walk.
Yeah, I Forrest Gump.
No, no, no. It's just like it was a huge waste of time the last 4 years, I feel like, and not a whole lot got done. I mean, yeah, the president signed a bunch of executive orders, but it was very divisive. And if it just keeps going on this current projection, we're going to see that balkanization. We're going to see those, small skirmishes of different ideologies meeting up and beating the shit out of each other. And the municipalities are going to be like, fuck it, you're on your own. And then all the people that
they've
are
already
kind of,
they've already done
We've
that.
already seen
They're
it.
already kind of doing it with the
And,
riots. Yeah.
I think it's. I think a lot of people have realized that. I think a lot of people have, went and bought guns for malicious reasons. I feel like a lot of people have went and bought guns because they kind of realized that, hey, maybe the cops aren't always going to be there. Maybe they're not always going to be. Maybe the whole what's called sanity and peacetime of our society just hinges on the fact of just everybody being super chill. And when you have enough people that decide not to be cool and decide to go out and be dickheads, the cops are kind of like, yeah, we just don't have enough.
Life comes at you fast, man. And unfortunately, sometimes life comes at you at 1,100 foot per second.
Well,
Yeah.
and I blame the division on a couple of things. One, the fact that the left are sore losers. They're horrible losers.
Well,
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. And two, it was amplified by the fact that Trump is absolutely a horrible politician. If he would have just not tweeted, not said anything, not fed into it and reacted to it the way it did, it wouldn't have been so divisive. Because we've had division before. I mean, when Bush became president, the left pouted and stomped their feet, but Gore was able to diffuse that by being a statesman. Even though he, who knows, he might have won, but he was a statesman about it. When Bush lost his bid for a second term to Clinton, they could have went down the same path, but he didn't. He was a statesman. When Trump won the presidency, of all the good things he's done, and he's done some good things. As a veteran, I have benefited greatly from his presidency in just my health care alone, which never would have happened under Hillary Clinton, ever. So I got to give him that. But he can't put the damn tweets down. He amplifies the division and feeds into that and doesn't act like a statesman. And now, in his time of in his time of his greatest hour, where he can be a statesman and he can say, you know what? I lost. I'm going to help Joe Biden ascend to the presidency. We both ran good campaigns. He won. And have some dignity to the he took away the dignity of the office, which fed into the division that we're seeing now. And then with the amplification of a president who doesn't act like a statesman and the advent of the explosion of social media, where small pockets of ideologies and people are amplified as a collective. Not all Republicans are right-wing extremists. I would say a very small fraction are. Not all liberals are Antifa and what's the other one?
Pinko commies.
Yeah. But a small fraction that's being amplified, that's creating the division, which I do believe will lead to what Alex is saying. You know, you're going to have small pockets of people that are going to get stupid. And if I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to let them get stupid. I don't have a dog in this fight unless you come in that front door. I don't care. Go shoot yourself. I could care less because none of it matters. None of it. When you sell your soul to an ideology, you give up your individual freedom. You give that up. You willingly give it to an ideology. And if you are going to go die for an opinion and not personal sovereignty, not personal freedom.
You know, this is when
That's what these people have been told, man.
one of my favorite
School system.
One of my favorite quotes though is from an artist known as Aaron Tippin. And this quote goes, "Well, you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything." And that's when you pull your gun out of your fanny pack and shoot some guy after yelling, "Well, you think you're better than me, Sammy sumbitch?"
I don't know about that.
Yeah. See that we're gonna see a lot of that.
Yeah, we're gonna see. Well, we're gonna start to see a lot of that.
A whole bunch of Aaron Tippin moments coming up here.
Yeah. Well, you know, my only advice to you that are watching this show, the viewer. I mean, you have a room full of gun owners here on this show. We are pro Second Amendment here. I am not pro stupidity.
Not pro stupidity.
And if you go out and buy a gun,
don't be stupid.
Make sure you go to the range with somebody who knows about guns if you've never had one before. Learn everything you can about the firearm you've bought. Shoot it at least once every couple of months for the first couple of years before you get comfortable with it. And I'm telling you right now, if you carry that gun, be prepared to use it. Don't wave it around. Don't wear it as an accessory. Don't pull it out to threaten somebody. Because if you pull a gun out to threaten somebody and you're not prepared to use it, and that person that you're threatening has a gun and he's prepared to use it, you're going to lose.
And also 9mm is cool.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
All right, Mike. What do you want to talk about?
Kind of cool.
Yeah, 9mm. Okay. All right. You got me started on it.
It's just a little mini 7.62.
Yeah.
Just a little mini
you
freedom
You
seeds.
had to sit
Baby
here. Hold on.
7.62.
Little freedom seeds.
We're gonna double back here on the old
Little daisy seeds.
1911 boomer over here about how you know how many wars the M92 has won? Panama, the Gulf War, every conflict since. I would say that's a pretty good track record for 9mm.
What was the service pistol that you had when you were on the force?
Me?
Yes.
It's a Kimber BP-10-2 1911.
What did you have to carry
Just the
in
ugliest
Iraq?
1911 I've ever seen.
It's the sweetest 1911 ever.
They let you. I thought that department required you to have an M&P 40.
No, they went to the MP-40 after I
Yeah,
left.
and 40 is the worst caliber ever.
And that's worse. That is the worst handgun ever.
This is a short 10 millimeter.
M&Ps are awesome. 40 is just the worst caliber ever because the story behind 40 is a very, very sad one. And it all starts with paper pushers in the FBI because 10 millimeter was too strong for their tiny wrists.
The centimeter.
Yeah. They were like, we can't handle this.
Their pistols wouldn't cycle because their wrists were too limp.
They were like, oh, this hurts our hands and it over penetrates. And they're like, fine, we'll take the centimeter and not make it as cool and make it 40 Smith & Wesson, which is like their worst choice ever. Because it's the worst.
They shortened the cartridge, sort of like they did with 380 to 9 millimeter.
I don't have anything wrong. I don't have anything against 9 millimeter. I just like busting your balls, but I do carry 45.
Yeah, because 9 millimeter is amazing. It won and lost every war it's been in.
How did it do for the Germans?
Fine. How did it do for the
Yeah, the Germans and the Belgians both used them against each other.
Yeah, so it
Won and lost.
Yeah, Canada had high powers, so therefore it won.
Boom.
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 There it is. Boom.
How'd it work in World War One? It won the war.
But they had 9 in World War
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, Parabellum.
Yeah, yeah.
The German broom handle Mauser was a 9mm.
And the Luger.
And the Luger. And the Luger, yeah.
And a whole bunch of other cool handguns.
Yeah. And the Sten gun was 9mm.
Yeah. Because the Sten was
Because
totally...
subguns are fucking cool.
Yeah, subguns are totally bitching.
People that
Yours
are
is
like,
pretty. Hey, yours is pretty fun to shoot, Alex. I can tell you that.
And you-
subguns are bad
and you can put
because
17 in a
penetration. Okay, and I'm like, okay, first of all, it's gonna suck getting penetrated by 9mm. I don't know what the hell you're
Yeah.
talking about. And in fact, because I can't shoot through a concrete block, doesn't mean that the round isn't good.
Like,
all right, if I can carry 1,000 rounds of that as opposed to like 500 rounds of something that could, I'd probably take 1,000 rounds and be like, I'll just find my way around the block.
yeah. I mean,
Or what you could do,
I'll use one of
or
the
what you
fancy
could do,
grenades that I also have.
what you could do is shoot the 9mm to keep their head down as I get into position with the 45 to shoot through the blocks.
And then fire 2 shots and it jams, and then you're like, oh, wait, hold on.
hold on. No, I got me some stovetiping. Well,
The last time
better
I
pull
did
out
it,
my beans and cook them over my stovepipe.
the last time I did a test with that Kimber, we had I put 1,000 rounds through it without cleaning it, and it never jammed one time.
I've done that with several handguns now.
The one time it did jam, it was with Wolf brand ammo, and it was found that the shell the cartridge that went in there had no powder in it.
Oh, it was a squib load.
Thanks, Wolf.
So you had to drill out the barrel.
Well, it had the primer,
Right, squib load.
so the primer pushed the bullet out, but it didn't cycle the gun.
Yeah, no, you could cycle like
That is very dangerous.
45 will push through a barrel with like minimum effort.
Yeah, it was just we found it was just the primer. There was no powder in it at all.
But
That was
if
Wolf. That was that Wolf brand ammo. They make good chili, but they make shit ammo.
How bad is that if you have a squib load? Because then you have the bullet stuck in the barrel, and if you don't know what you're doing, and you shoot another
No,
one.
the primer of a shell will push a bullet out through the barrel.
Well, in certain guns.
In certain guns.
In 45, it will.
Yeah.
Shotguns, it won't.
You just
Or
take a
rifles.
cleaning rod and you just slam that bitch back down in there.
A wooden dowel.
Or that.
You get a
Or
wooden dowel.
that. Yeah.
No, you just load another one in and shoot it right on through. It'll be all
Yeah,
right.
just follow behind it. You're good.
Yeah, it's totally fine. It'll totally be cool. Don't do that ever. Please don't.
Speaking of wooden dowels and shotguns, how did it become federal regulation for migratory birds that not only do you can only have 3 rounds in the entire gun, but you actually have to put an obstruction device such as a wooden dowel. to prevent
That's for all bird hunting, and you can thank poachers for that.
Yep.
You know what's also stupid? It was part of that whole migratory bird bullshit was the fact that we can't have punt guns anymore. Which punt
Yeah,
guns
because because punt guns were so good at wiping out entire species of ducks and stuff that we just need that
Geese.
punt gun. And geese.
Yeah, geese. They're still the worst illegal immigrant. So I see no problem.
All right, Leland. In one sentence lasting less than a minute and a half.
Get wrecked, nerd.
Because I would do a ton of commas and make it a paragraph-long sentence.
Give us a topic, man. Let's discuss it.
Let's see. We already talked about space. And let's see. We already talked about the president. We've already talked about sports. How about...
If you don't have anything pending, pass the buck.
How about autonomous cars?
Oh, I have some really cool stories about this.
Oh, yeah. Weren't they supposed to take over Uber? Autonomous cars? Supposed to drive everybody out of business? Taxi cab drivers? What's your story, Mike?
Oh, my God. So you guys know in the Mueller neighborhood how they had all those self-driving cars?
Yeah.
So what I used to do is because at my previous job, I would have an excess of cones and marking paint. So I would go through and I would continue the road lines and make it a loop. So then the car would turn around and then I would put cones on the other side, getting it stuck in a loop. Or I'd put cones there and I would just stop the car.
It would just stay there.
Yeah, and it would just stay there. Then they would have to send somebody out. Then I would move them really quick. Dude, I used to do like, oh my God, man. I would put like loops. I would like draw.
They kept you busy over there, didn't they?
Yeah, I would make lines with cones. And
Wonder
like
why it
other
doesn't
stuff.
work for that company anymore.
Dude, it was cool because I'd be sitting there like, oh, yep, there's nothing for me to dispatch on. Time for me to mess
Well, I kind of
with
like the autonomous cars.
I think they're awesome.
I got to test drive a Tesla
Same here.
about a year ago when it had when the high end one had the autonomy in it, and it drove itself back to the shop, and I just sat there in the driver's seat and let it.
That'd be pretty cool.
It was pretty badass. Yeah, I mean the guy went through. I remember I used to teach that defensive driving class, and the guy went through the class, so he invited me out. He worked at the dealership, and we got
It's a gallery because they legally can't call the dealership in Texas.
or whatever it is. I got in the car and got up on 183, and when you push on the pedal, I can't call it a gas pedal, but when you push on the acceleration pedal on that thing to go, there's no hesitation.
You probably had it in
none.
ludicrous speed.
There's no setting. That's just 100% of the time. There's no give.
You've
because
got
there's
to
no torque.
plaid.
And the car, what sets these things apart, which I didn't know, but now I do, is that those cars don't have one electric motor.
No, they have 4.
They have 4 electric motors. Each wheel is an electric motor. So it has posi track. The computer keeps the wheels. I mean, when you turn, it levels the car, so it doesn't how you turn. Like when we turn a Mike's Shaggin' Wagon, it feels like it's about ready to tip over, and we got to
Well, see,
put
when
in
it does that,
outriggers.
it's your responsibility to climb out of the passenger
And outrig
seat
it, yeah.
and into the seat behind his car, so that way it doesn't tip over.
Yeah,
You got to do that sidecar thing.
Elon Musk makes everything better.
So
I have to accommodate for body roll. It's there.
It was cool though. Coming back from our hike the other day, Alex, we were on the towaway going 112 and blew past a Corvette.
Oh yeah.
Wait. In Alex's vehicle?
No, in the
in
Shaggin'
mine.
Wagon.
Oh, the Shaggin'
It was
Wagon.
like 95, and it's like, I'm doing my best here.
Well, what's cool? So
It's okay, buddy.
after the stuff was changed up, my speedometer's off by about 5 miles an hour. So if it reads 112 on there,
We were going 150, 117.
17.
God dang.
yeah.
Damn. And it's 25 years old.
I was trying not to act scared, but I was thinking that thing was going to blow apart like a space shuttle coming back in and
Yeah.
losing its tiles. But anyway, I wish I had my phone out. I didn't think about it fast enough.
Dude,
when we went by that Corvette, that
blew
would have been
past
awesome.
this Corvette like
Like he was standing still. It was, I waved to him when we went by. I gave him a little tard wave, but it was awesome.
Dude, it was I remember passing by that thing because he's doing like a solid 80.
Oh, at least.
And
Well,
I'm
yeah,
just
everybody
like-
was going fast, but we were blowing by everybody.
I was like, I got this. I put that hammer down. I think we're sitting at like 4,200 RPMs. It just blew past this Corvette, and they were probably like,
It had a very unstable wobble. He was holding onto the steering wheel quite hard. But anyway,
with the one good tire.
So
right?
I get so we were driving on Braille, but so we get on 183. We drive north on 183, and of course I gun it, and it gets right up to 90 miles an hour, like in seconds, and it's just a sweet ride, very, very smooth. Got all the way up to like the Liberty Hill type area, where the two 183s come together, and turned around. And then he reached over, and of course it's got this huge screen on the front of it. So he reaches over and he does a few little things. He goes, "Okay, when you're ready, just let go and it'll drive us back." And it did. It was amazing.
That sounds
stop
awesome.
signs, took the exit.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
Full self-driving.
That is
Sort of.
That is the coolest thing ever.
yeah, you guys see how they're like trying to get like, they're the equivalent of like giant drones that are like autonomous like ferry systems and stuff now.
Yeah, there's a company in Austin that has one of those.
And I'm like, I'm all for this. Like, if I'm like, I need you to like drone me somewhere, and like this thing just kind of like flies down. I'm like, and I just hop into it and it flies me. Like, dude, the future's here, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, once they figure out the battery
I could
tech.
probably get that quad burger over here pretty quick if they have.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That'd be dope. Be dope, man. Okay, next week, remind me. I will do it. I will get it. Because that's going to be after our Thanksgiving throwdown.
Yeah. They're going to be in a food coma for days.
Oh, my God. That turkey's going to be so good. It's going to be on my new grill, too.
Well, dude, I'm just going to be excited because there's just going to be a lot of food I'm going to stuff in my face. And this is my favorite part of the year.
I love it.
Because of pies.
Yeah.
I love pie. And there's never a shortage of it.
Well, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I'm going to put so much food in my face.
I smoke a turkey every year on Thanksgiving. Last year, I skipped a year, spent some time with another family, and they had a great spread, fantastic food. It was a great time, but I do miss just getting up and wearing my stretchy pants and drinking my Bailey's Irish Cream and wrapping the turkey in bacon. And so I'm going to do that on Sunday this year. I'm working this year on Thanksgiving, but that'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, what I want to talk about is how this show's coming along and how I'm proud of you guys. And I'm just really thankful to Alex for coming up here every week to produce it and spend some time with him, and Mike for waking up. And I gave him his own little space in there. He's going to be decorating that and making it his own. We're going to get lights in here. You can't see behind the camera, but it's a mess right now. But we're doing some more work on my soundproofing in the booth, so it'll be a working studio. If anybody out there has a band and you're brand new and you've been playing in your garage and you just want an audience, man, let's hook you up, man. Let's get you in here. We got a huge performance space over here. We're gonna have lights. It's gonna be a stage. It's gonna be a sound stage, and we'll have you come in here and play, and we'll talk, and then you'll play, and then we'll do some other stuff, and it'll be a lot of fun. So creators with videos, we're going to figure out how to work YouTube in here so Alex doesn't get frustrated.
Oh, you should have seen his face, dude.
With it. But we'll figure that out.
Well,
I kind of dropped that in his defense. I dropped it on him kind of last minute.
As of like 90% of the things that I have to do.
Yeah, and so we're gonna work that out. So there's good transition. I'll probably put some filler in there so you can like put the filler in, change the video, put another. We'll work it out. We'll make sure it works. But anyway, microphones work.
These amazing microphones.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you guys around every week, and we'll be back here next week, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Guys, happy Thanksgiving. Don't drink and drive. I don't care how many people show up at your house. The Ronas don't scare me. Eat as much as you can.
Just call it a protest, then they won't be able to. Then they won't be able to shut it down.
Could you fix that? There's something going on. Could you fix that, Alex? All right. Trying to sign off here. Cool. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Have a safe holiday if you're traveling, and just eat lots of food, man. Just go Lions. We'll see you next week. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Radio Man Cave, and you have been on the air. Bye.
Great job, team. Head back to base for debriefing and cocktails.